Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. Today, as we've been doing all week, we're going to be making some female sweaters. This week we'll be doing female sweaters, next week we'll be doing male sweaters, the following week we'll be doing some aprons, and the last week we'll be doing some baby clothing. So as I mentioned the past couple days, when you think of making a sweater card, automatically you think of the great embossing folder that Stampin' came up with last year called the Cable Knit. And this is a card that was made using that Cable Knit embossing folder. And it's great. I love it. But there's so many more things so many more ways you can make a sweater without having to use that. So I'm going to show you some other ones that I have. These were all made with the Cable Knit. This was an inking up the embossing folder. This was a men's cardigan, and this was another one that just held a gift card. But this week, so far, we've made this one, which uses the softly falling embossing folder. And we also made this one, which was all done with a scoreboard. And there are videos available for those two that I posted. Today we're going to be making this one, which is a variation of this one. This reminded me of a grandma sweater, and I wanted to make another grandma sweater, but I wanted to do it a little bit differently. So I came up with more of a pullover for grandma. And this is the card that I came up with. So let's get started, and I'll show you just how easy it is. What we need is a piece of Whisper White, thick Whisper White, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then a piece of patterned paper to make the little pocket and the sweater itself. This is cut at the same size as the card front, 4 1/4 by 5.5. This piece of paper is from a retired DSP stack. It was from last year's Occasions catalog called Love Blossoms, I believe. So what we're going to do first off is we're going to take our piece of our cardstock and we are going to mark center. So this here is the front of the card, and it's 4 1/4 inches wide, so we need to tick off at 2 1/8, which means the center. Then with our 2-inch hole punch, we're going to come in and we're going to line that up so that it's in the center of the punch. And punch. Now we're going to fold our card over, line that punch space out, and punch again. And now we have perfectly lined up collar. So what we're going to do now is attach our designer series paper. And I loved this print for a grandma sweater. And we're going to just line this right up because it is the same size as our card. Okay. Now we're going to open it up and we're going to do the same thing with that. Wrong punch. I was going to say, wow, what happened there? This is my 2-inch punch. We're going to come in and we're going to line that up again. And punch. And now we have that. So now we need to make our cute little lace collar. And for that, I'm going to use some doilies. I'm going to use 2 because I liked the thickness of the 2. You can certainly use 1 if you'd like. I'm going to use 2. And as you can see, it's pretty much fits in there nicely. So I'm going to cut this in half. Just line it up. And cut this in half. Now I'm going to take a little bit of snail And I'm going to just put it on the shoulders and right here in the middle. Just so that I can have this lined up where I want it before I punch it out. And now that I see that it's lined up nicely, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn my card over. I'm going to come in with my 2-inch circle punch. And I'm going to cut that out. Now that didn't come out too crisp. So I'm going to just trim that off. Okay, there we go. So now we need to make, you know what I guess would probably be a better idea? If you attach your, I'm thinking as I go along now, if you attach your doily to your paper and then punch them all out together, that might give you a crisper cut. So I'm just going to come in and fix this up. Okay, that will get hidden with our collar, but so now because I have 2 pieces here, I'm going to just attach some snail there so that they stick together. Okay, now to make this cute little trim, we just need a piece of scrap. This is rose red, and I'm going to just punch that out. And then I'm going to come in with my 2.5-inch punch, and I'm going to line that up so that it's even. Punch it out. And now I have my border that's going to fit beautifully right here. So I'm going to take a little bit of snail. Attach that right here. In case that's really bothering me. I'm going to get my little nail file and smooth that out. Alright, perfect. Okay, now we're going to add some pearls. Now I know that with the new catalog, Stampin' Up! Reconfigured its pearls. It used to sell them in these nice strips that are attached like this, but they don't anymore. Now they're configured differently. But I still have some of these, lucky me, and I'm going to use those. But you can certainly use the individual ones. You just probably wouldn't put as many on. There we go. I'm going to snap that right off. And our collar is all dressed up. Doily's really giving me a hard time here today. Alright. And there's our collar. Now, okay, now we need to make the little pocket on the sweater. So from the leftover, when I trimmed, this piece of paper was a 4x6 piece of paper. And when I trimmed it to fit my card, I had a little piece left over. I cut that down into a 1.5 by 2 inch square, and with my scoreboard I'm going to score a 1/4 inch on 2 of the short sides and along the long side. Then with my snips, I'm going to turn it over so I can see it better. I'm going to cut out the 2 little corners. And then I'm going to angle all of the edges. And that's going to make my pocket. And making these little flaps is going to give it a little bit of room in case you want to put something in it. So I'm going to attach that with a little bit of tear tape in 3 little pieces. I guess you could probably use snail, but just in case so it stays nice and sturdy if you put something in it, I'm going to put some tear tape on it. Okay. My tear tape is so sticky. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to bend these back and place the pocket on Grandma's sweater. We're going to put it right about here. Adhesive remover. I got a little adhesive on my sweater, my pocket. Okay, then we need a little strip of rose red because that's the color that this is. So I just cut a tiny little piece. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick, and it's the same size as the pocket. So I'm going to put a little snail on that. And just put that right there. Then I took a doily and I cut just 3 of the scallops. And when I did, I wanted to make sure that, see, the scallops have this little solid one and then 3 lacy ones. I didn't want the solid one in there, so I just cut the 3 lacy ones. I have a little bit of snail back there, and I'm going to just wedge that into that pocket. Oh. And there we have it. Grammy's sweater has a nice little hanky in the pocket. It really was a very quick card to put together. So I hope you'll give it a try. It's just a little bit of cutting around the neckline and a piece of designer series paper. There are so many ways to make sweater cards out there. Although I do absolutely love the cable knit embossing folder, and I'll probably do a few more cards on that as the weather gets colder. There are so many ways to make them without having to have that cozy cable knit sweater feel. So I hope you'll give this a try and come back tomorrow for another card. And if you have any questions about this project or any of the products I use, please contact me through my blog at www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. There you'll find a tab to contact me, a tab to subscribe to my newsletter, and a tab to shop with me. Thanks so much. Have a great day.